Are you your partner's lover, or are you their manager? This is a difficult question to ask, but an essential one. You might find yourself constantly reminding them of their appointments or managing their schedule. You might be the one who automatically cleans up their emotional messes or mediates their conflicts with others. You may feel a compulsive need to fix their problems before they even ask for help. In the moment, this behavior often feels like care. It feels like you are simply being a supportive, loving partner who is capable and organized. But if you look closely, you might notice a heavy, familiar feeling underneath the care. You might feel exhausted, unseen, and quietly resentful. If this dynamic sounds familiar, you may be stuck in a pattern known as overfunctioning. This is not just a personality quirk or a sign that you are a control freak. For many people, this behavior is a deeply ingrained survival strategy rooted in childhood. It is often the result of a phenomenon called parentification. This happens when the roles between parent and child are reversed. Instead of the child receiving care and guidance, the child becomes the emotional or physical caretaker of the family. To understand why you overfunction in your adult relationships, we have to look at where this wiring began. In a secure childhood environment, parents are the sturdy leaders. They manage the household, regulate their own emotions, and provide a safe container for the child to grow. The child is free to be messy, to make mistakes, and to have needs without worrying about the stability of the home. But in a parentified dynamic, that safety is missing or inconsistent. Perhaps your parents were emotionally immature, struggling with addiction, or overwhelmed by their own trauma. Perhaps they treated you as a confidant, pouring their marital problems onto you when you were far too young to understand. In response, you learned to step up. You learned that if you didn't cook dinner, manage the siblings, or soothe your mother's anxiety, the household would fall apart. You became the competent child. You were likely praised for being mature for your age. Adults probably told you how responsible and reliable you were. While those words sounded like compliments, they were actually describing a loss of childhood. You learned a very specific and damaging lesson. Your value is tied to your utility. You learned that you are lovable only when you are useful, and that you are safe only when you are in control. You carried this belief system out of your childhood home and directly into your adult romantic life. When a parentified child grows up, they often feel an unconscious attraction to partners who underfunction. This is not a coincidence. It is a puzzle piece fitting into place. You might find yourself drawn to partners who are chaotic, directionless, or emotionally volatile. On a conscious level, this might frustrate you. You might wonder why you always end up with people who need saving or fixing. But to your nervous system, this dynamic feels comfortable. It feels familiar. If you are the one in charge, you are the one in control. If you are the giver, you never have to risk the vulnerability of being the receiver. Asking for help feels terrifying to a parentified individual because, in the past, asking for help resulted in neglect or burdening a fragile parent. So, you take on everything. You handle the bills, the emotional labor, the planning, and the conflict resolution. You become the engine that keeps the relationship moving forward. This leads to the inevitable accumulation of resentment. This is the poison that slowly erodes intimacy in overfunctioning dynamics. You may operate under a silent, covert contract. You believe that if you work hard enough, fix enough, and give enough, your partner will eventually notice. You hope they will spontaneously start reciprocating. You hope they will see your exhaustion and step up to care for you. But usually, the opposite happens. The more you overfunction, the more your partner underfunctions. If you always pick up the socks, they never learn to look at the floor. If you always manage their anxiety, they never learn to self-soothe. Your competency creates a vacuum that allows them to remain passive. Over time, your exhaustion turns into bitterness. You start to feel like a martyr. You might think, I do everything for everyone and no one does anything for me. This thought is painful, but it also reinforces the old identity. I am the strong one, and I am alone. It is important to recognize that this resentment is a signal. It is a red flashing light on your dashboard telling you that you have overextended your boundaries. However, stopping is not as simple as just doing less. For the overfunctioner, resting triggers immense guilt. When you sit down to relax, you might feel a spike of anxiety. Your brain starts scanning for threats or tasks. You might feel that by resting, you are being selfish or lazy. This guilt is the voice of the parentified child who knows that if they stop working, the family system might collapse. You have equated being loved with working hard. Therefore, rest feels like a withdrawal of love. It feels like you are endangering your connection to others. You might believe that if you are not solving a problem, you have no purpose in the room. Unlearning this requires you to separate your worth from your output. So, how do we begin to heal this pattern? The goal is to move from a dynamic of parent and child to a dynamic of partner and partner. This requires a shift from saving to supporting. Saving is doing it for them. Supporting is encouraging them to do it themselves. This transition can feel incredibly unsafe at first. When you stop fixing, things might actually go wrong. The bills might get paid late. The dishes might pile up. Your partner might have to sit with uncomfortable emotions without you rushing in to soothe them. You have to be willing to let the balls drop. This is the only way your partner can learn to catch them. When you step back, you create the space for them to step forward. If they never step forward, that is important data about the relationship. But they cannot even try if you are occupying all the space with your competence. This brings us to a practical tool you can use to interrupt the cycle. It is a simple journaling prompt or a question to ask yourself in the heat of the moment. What would happen if I didn't fix this problem today? When you feel the urge to intervene, to remind your partner of something they forgot, to rewrite their email, or to manage their mood, pause. Ask yourself that question. What is the worst-case scenario if I let this go? Usually, the answer is that your partner experiences a natural consequence. They might miss an appointment. They might feel stressed. They might be grumpy. Then, ask yourself a follow-up question. Can I tolerate the anxiety of letting them experience that consequence? The urge to fix is often about managing your own anxiety, not theirs. You fix it so you don't have to feel the stress of their failure. By stepping back, you are learning to tolerate your own discomfort. You are practicing the art of detachment with love. You must also begin to articulate your needs, rather than waiting for them to be divined. Parentified adults often expect mind reading because they were trained to be mind readers. You anticipated your parents' needs before they asked, so you assume love means someone doing the same for you. But healthy adult relationships require verbal communication. You have to say, "I am tired and I need you to handle dinner," without waiting until you are furious. This process involves grieving the fantasy of the perfect savior. You might be waiting for someone to come along and parent you the way you parented everyone else. You want someone to scoop you up and fix your life. Realizing that no other adult can fully save you is painful, but it is also liberating. It means you can stop auditioning for love. You can stop trying to earn your place in the world through labor. As you start to set these boundaries, you may face resistance. If your partner is used to you doing everything, they might feel abandoned or confused when you stop. They might say you have changed or that you are not being supportive. It is crucial to hold your ground and explain that you are shifting the dynamic for the health of the relationship. You are moving toward interdependence, where two whole adults rely on each other, rather than codependence, where one person carries the other. Healing parentification is ultimately about reclaiming your own childhood joy in the present tense. It is about learning to play. It is about doing things that have no utility, simply because they feel good. It is about letting yourself be messy, unorganized, and imperfect, and realizing that people still want to be around you. You are building a new belief system. This system says that your presence is more valuable than your productivity. You are allowed to take up space without paying rent in the form of emotional labor. You are allowed to be tired. You are allowed to have needs that are inconvenient for others. The next time you feel the weight of the world on your shoulders, remember that you are not a manager. You are a partner. You are not a parent to your peers. You are an equal. You are worthy of love even when you are resting. You are worthy of love even when you are not useful. True intimacy is not about two people needing each other to survive. It is about two people wanting each other to thrive. By laying down the burden of being the strong one, you finally give yourself the chance to be the loved one.